One announcement I didn't make is about this little remote up here. If you left that in the gym or fell off your key ring, if you'll make sure, I'm just going to leave it up here on the side. You can get that after the service. Or if you hear someone, they've lost their remote, we now are in the possession of a keychain remote up here. So please help us find the appropriate owner of that. We did have a great trip. You know, everybody says, how was your mission trip? And everybody answers, it was good. And that tells you a little bit, but doesn't tell you a whole lot. So you have a lot invested in this trip, a lot of prayer support, donations, physical donations of certain medical supplies and everything that was on our list that some of you gave, also as well as monetary, giving the love offerings and things. And so tonight, I guess, is more of a not only just informing you of everything that you had a hand in doing in Haiti, but also a celebration of all that God has done in Haiti, as well as in the hearts and lives of the people that went to serve Him there. So thank you for all that you did, and I hope that you catch that vision that although you might not have stepped a foot on the plane, you went in prayer and you went in your donations that you gave, and you're a big part of us going. So I hope that you keep that mindset, that you were a big part of that trip. I'm going to call them up in groups of two, and they're going to share what God's laid on their heart to share. And then we're going to see some slides towards the end, and Luke's got a song that he wrote over in Haiti, and it's going to share with us to kind of close out the service. So Stacy and Bryn, if you'll come on up, and if y'all share with us tonight. We had 8 people from Mount Vernon to go on the trip, and all 8 of those are here. Gunnar Hill, Luke Herndon, myself, my 2 daughters, Celeste and Heidi, and Stacy and Bryn Larson, and Summer Weaver. And so very thankful that we had a good group go to help work. And Stacy, if y'all just share as the Lord lays on your heart.
First, I want to take the opportunity to say how thankful and blessed I am for the opportunity to be able to go this time on the mission trip. We had a wonderful group. There was 26 of us, and you just couldn't ask for a better group. Everybody got along, did good. We got all our work done. A couple of verses I wanted to share to start off was Proverbs 16:3. It says, commit your activities to the Lord, and your plans will be achieved. We had an outline when we went, and it outlined what we were going to do while we were there as far as painting the medical clinics, the giving out of rice. It was just kind of laid out plan. Well, that plan really didn't go as we had wrote it out. And that just goes on to my next verse, 16:9. A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord determines his steps. The Lord planned it out much better than we did. And I say that because the second night we were there, I'm not sure where I was at or what I was doing, but it just kind of, and I mentioned it in our devotion time that night, but it just seemed like our first day, we got there on Monday. Tuesday we were supposed to start painting. Well, the paint didn't get there. And everybody was like, well, we got to have the paint. We got to have the paint. We just, in our minds, I'm sure everybody was thinking that we're not going to have the paint. We're not going to be able to paint. Anyway, and so towards the end of the week, I think it was, towards the end of the week, we were supposed to plant the trees. So we ended up planting those the first day. And y'all, it rained in a place that doesn't normally see a lot of rain. It rained almost every night we were there. So to me, that was just God's plan that those trees were supposed to be planted that first day where they could get all that rainwater. And so everything just fell into place. And that was basically, I can't share everything because everybody's got to have a turn, but that to me stood out the most, that our plans aren't always what we want them to be or what we think they should be, but that God's plan is always better, and how it worked out. And our activities, all of them got done, and then some. So it just shows you how He works. And I'm going to leave it at that.
The trip altogether was an amazing experience, but in all the stuff we done while we were there, my favorite part would have been spending time with all the children. You can make their day just by telling them hey or giving them a high five or playing a game with them. Just showing them a little bit of love went a long way. Like on Sunday morning, we had left to go to church, and we arrived back at the orphanage. All the kids were on the porch hollering and cheering because they were so excited we were back. Moments like this touched my heart and showed me how the little things we do make a big difference. It was an amazing opportunity to be able to experience the things we did, so thank you all for the support that you gave and letting us have that opportunity.
And y'all, I want to say one more thing on the kids she was talking about. Sunday when we got back from church, we were coming in on this bus, and I wish I had a video. I don't think anybody got a video, but for the ones that were on the bus that seen it, I mean, they were just jumping up and down and so happy that we were back. It was just amazing. I really wish we had a video of that, but we don't.
Okay. Luke and Gunner, if y'all come up at this time.
This trip was, I can't describe it to you. I've never had a trip like this before. I've never been out of the country. So I can't tell you how blessed I was to be on this trip. The opportunity that I had that a lot of people don't have to go on this, I'm glad I had it. So I have a couple of points here. The first one, when I arrived in Haiti, I guess I didn't really know how bad Haiti was, and I was just clueless. And I show up and we're driving on our way to the orphanage and just looking around. It's worse than you think it would be. Like you're like, oh, poverty, and you think you had this in your head. It's 2 times that. I mean, people bathing in the streets naked. I mean, and then that same water's running down the same little box thing going to some guy who's getting some water to drink for his family. I mean, it's rough. It's rough over there, and they definitely need to be in your prayers, but I know Haiti's not the only place, so it's just one of those many places that needs to be in our prayers. My second point was the med clinics. We had 2 teams. We had the paint teams, and we had the medical teams. And me and Gunnar both were on the medical teams, and we would go to a church, and we'd have a different table set up. And basically, we'd have 200 people, about 200 people each time we did. We only did it 2 times. And they would come and just get in line. And me and Gunnar would take their temperature and blood pressure and stuff. Then they go to another table, get diagnosed and stuff. Then they go to another one to get like their medications and stuff. It was like a pharmacy. But that was huge for me. I mean, I was just like, I wanted to do it because I knew that I would see some stuff that I've never seen before, and that would change me. And when you see these kids walk in and they've got some of these awful diseases, some of these awful things, and they're hungry, and they just have this look of sad and they're hurt. I mean, it's terrible. And I knew it would be that way. It's just I had to see it. I had to see it for myself. So when we were there, it's just great that we got to help give them the medicine and take their temperature and stuff, because the sadness they have on their face, you try to do everything you can to get them to smile or to do something to get that sadness off their face, because, I mean, it's so rough. It's so hot. They don't have good, clean water. They don't always have showers to take showers like we do all the time. But that was really a blessing to see. And the little kids, when they look up at you, they're just so adorable. They're just precious, and they just look up at you like, please help me. And it's just rough. Our mission team, I couldn't ask for a better mission team, like Miss Stacy said. These guys and then everyone else from the church, we just all clicked and got along, and it was just worked together like that. I mean, the paint team was killing it. I'm talking about, they were just, we go to medical clinic, come back, and the whole front side of the orphanage, which is 3 stories high, is like done. I'm just like, wow, unbelievable. But we got all kinds of work done. We did everything that we were supposed to do, give out rice and stuff like that. So mission team was great. We got stuff done, and we made a difference. That's what the main deal was. We made a difference. So, and the impact of the trip will always change me. It will always help me not think about myself now, because, you know, those days when you think that you have it bad, or you think it's really going bad, like no one else feels this way. There's kids starving. There's kids bathing naked in the streets, and there's people drinking dirty water that you look in it, and there's trash, there's green stuff, whatever that is. And I don't even want to know what's in there. That's what they have to drink, and I'm over here wasting water. I'll spend 30 minutes in the shower sometimes. I mean, unbelievable. But I will always remember Haiti. I always remember people in general who are poor. We need to remember those people, and to know that even though when we think we're in our lowest spot, there's people who have it way worse than we do. So thanks, and last but not least, thank you for all the prayers and everything, and Thank you.
When I first started this trip, I honestly had I didn't feel led at all to go on this trip. I had one of my friends Kristen had been last year, and I just got back from medic training with the Army in Texas, so I didn't go last year. But she came back and she was telling me about it and all, and that's really cool and all, but I joined the military because I felt led that was my mission field. I felt led that, there's not any Christians, or not many Christians in our military, and those guys that are going overseas and getting shot at and killed and stuff, and it's like they have no access. I mean, they have chaplains, but nobody really looks to the chaplain as that seed because you have no relationship. So I was like, I felt led that's my calling. So I went and did that and all, and I still feel today like that's my calling. And I was like, but this is something else different, and I've already been called in this. But I was like, I don't really know if I want to go to another country when I'm already facing, going overseas. And it's like, why am I going to voluntarily put myself in that situation? But I did. And at first I was, I'm a broke college student working 2 or 3 jobs in the military. I can't hardly afford to pay for gas. But I'm like, I'm supposed to raise $1,300 to go to another country. And the whole time, just stuff kept happening. And I was like, I'm not supposed to go on this trip. Like, I don't know why I signed up for this. And it was like the last month before we started to leave, and it was just like all the money started coming in. I mean, from everybody. I'd have patients come in to Dr. Fordham's and be like, oh, you're going on a mission trip to Haiti? Come out here to my car real quick. And they write me a check for like $50 for me to go. And they're like, just bring me back some pictures and stuff. I'm like, well, I don't even know what to say. So I got the money situation done. And when we left down there, everything went smoothly. All of our stuff got through. I don't know how we had so much stuff, but it all got through, and we got down there. And like Luke said with the poverty, like, that is by far the poorest place I have ever seen. I mean, and when you go to Haiti, you see 2 different worlds. You see the fact that the landscape is gorgeous. I mean, you have mountains and ocean and, I mean, crazy stuff. And then you see the people that live there in the poverty, and it's like little 2-path highways that they're driving old, raggedy buses and dump trucks and stuff down and all, and people selling shoes in a container that they're carrying around on their head, and like, I mean, it is a whole nother world down there. And then we get to our compound where we're at, and there's like, probably a 12 or 15-foot wall all the way around it with razor wire to keep people out. And it's like, wow. And like Luke said, I've seen people, bathing naked in the ditch outside of our compound, just like it wasn't nothing. I mean, animals running around all over the place and everything. And so after you take all that in and you calm down for a second and you're like, okay, I'm actually doing this, then we went to this medical clinic, and like I said, I just started working in a doctor's office. I'm combat medic. You do medical stuff, your basic vital signs, everything like that. Well, you go there, and for anybody that is medically inclined at all, I saw patients down there that had blood pressures of like 230 over 130, walking around smiling at you fine, holding their babies, walking around, and we're like just passing them on to get some blood pressure medicine. I mean, that's the best you can do down there. And it's like, these people are so desperate for medical care, for food and stuff, that there was one point, me and Luke thought they were fixing to bust in on us, because I guess they were fixing to close doors because we were fixing to finish that day, and they were not going to have it. I mean, they were coming through that door. They knocked over Miss Phyllis's chair. I mean, just to get some vitamins, just get stuff we can go to Walmart and get. I mean, down there, a little cut on your heel, a little cut on your hand is life or death. I mean, it's literally, I saw one girl that had an appendectomy, and there was a house fire, and she got out of it. And when she got out of it, she herniated it just a little bit. But she had to go for months on months or years without treatment. And it was a little 8-year-old girl that looked full-blown pregnant from the hernia that was on the front of her belly. And, I mean, you have that, and then you have the rice. And, I mean, it's just amazing. Like, just rice. I mean, we don't even think about that, really. We have all these other things, but just rice. They lined up for, a quarter mile down the path just to get rice from us. So, I mean, you go down there and you see that, and then on top of all that going on, you have our mission team that is down there, and they're like, these people that some we know, some we don't, whatever, but by the end of the week, you're completely a team. Everybody's with you. Everybody's, you've already met everybody, you know everybody's story. You're having devotionals every night with those people. And, it's a really amazing thing. And I know from coming straight from, dealing with Army guys all the time that say some of the crudest things you could ever imagine, to come and to be in with a group like that, really refreshing to be able to do that. And the fact of what we're doing down there, I mean, I'm one of these people that, well, there's people here. Why don't we just help the people here? But after that trip, I mean, it's not just that. I mean, there's people that need help all over the world, and any chance you get to be able to help them, I mean, any little care. I remember there was one woman, if you're in medical field, you know that you deal with crap all the time, but there's always that one patient that does something for you that it doesn't matter what else happened, that your day is made because of that one patient. And I had this one woman that was probably 70 years old, and the only thing she could say in English was, "God bless you." And she told me that as she was walking off. And I was like, wow, these people really appreciate what we're doing here. Like, you're really making a difference. But, I mean, it's just a really eye-opening experience for me, and I plan on going on at least one every year trying to help with it and all if I can. But maybe I can get my old mama back there to go with me. She's a nurse practitioner to come and help us. But anyways, it was a good trip, and I appreciate all the people that helped us go on this trip.
Let me just make sure I heard you say one thing right. I think you used a Greek word, old mama. Was it Ola? Oh, hello, mama. Ola. Okay, Celeste and Summer, if y'all come up.
First, I would like to thank God for the opportunity to go to Haiti and show His love to the people there, for keeping us safe while we were there, and for allowing us to get all of our work done, plus some. Haiti was a huge eye-opener. The bus ride from the airport to the orphanage where we were staying was pretty depressing. Everywhere you looked, there was trash, people trying to sell stuff just to get a little money, kids were with barely anything on, starving animals, and the list goes on and on. It was also a little overwhelming because you see all that and think, how can I make a difference in an area like this in just a week? Miss Janie, a lady that stayed with us at the orphanage, said that if you can touch just one person there, that you made a difference. When we got to the orphanage, we unpacked and played with the kids. I was a little nervous about not speaking their language, but it actually wasn't that bad. Those kids were so sweet. They would just come up to you and want you to love on them, and you could see their faces light up when someone said just one word to them. We did medical clinics while we were there, and that was probably one of the most memorable things ever. Those people would come in looking so sad, but when you gave them something as simple as vitamins, their faces were so priceless. We bagged rice to hand out at different places. We went to a church near City Blue, and it was so heartbreaking. We were told just to give it to adults. There was one little boy that came up to me 3 times with tears in his eyes begging for rice. I had to turn my back. It honestly took all I had not to cry. It tore me apart not being able to help him. This trip was a big eye-opener. I realized just how blessed I really am. Thank you all for supporting us and praying for us.
The most awesome experience I had in Haiti was just loving on the kids and getting to know them. Just seeing a smile on their faces was all I needed to know that God was using our love to minister to these kids. Also, I had the time to get to know our group a little bit better and build new friendships. Overall, I would say this has been a life-changing trip, and it has changed my view of being thankful of all we have here in America. But the greatest thing was that despite all of the poverty, these people would praise God with all they had and dress up in their best clothes to go to church on Sunday. They had their speakers so loud so that everyone could hear them outside of the church. That's awesome. I would just like to say thank you for your prayers and for everyone who took a part in helping us get to Haiti.
Come on. Now, Heidi doesn't think she can just share by making a few notes and sharing with you. She's got to have somebody like last year ask her questions and then her tell you about it. So I'm going to ask the questions that her and I have come up with and let her answer for you. But Heidi, just tell them what work projects you participated in Haiti.
I helped hand out rice, helped with the medical clinic, and I helped painting the orphanage.
And what was the most meaningful part of the trip for you?
When we did the medical clinic, because you can still share God's love by handing medicine to somebody.
And what did you do specifically in the medical clinic?
I helped in the pharmacy giving out medicine and holding papers for the next patient.
So you helped work at CVS? You said pharmacy. Describe the pharmacy to them. That wasn't on the paper, was it? She said it was different. Yeah, just a pharmacy table and some medicines we had organized behind us, and we would give out as the nurses had prescribed certain things, from vitamins all the way down to Rolaids to cough syrup to inhalers and different medicines we had packed in with us. And what was the one thing that God taught you while you were in Haiti?
To share love and compassion with the people, because some people don't get the love and compassion that we do.
And what did you enjoy at the orphanage where we stayed?
I especially enjoyed playing with the kids and spending time with them. Thank you for your support and prayers. I'm glad I had a chance to minister to the people in Haiti.
I'm going to share some slides with you. Ann's going to help me out with in the back. I'm just going to walk through some slides with you. Before I start sharing about those, I just want to say, you'd be surprised when you plan mission trips, even when you go to another state or something to do, or another area in our state to do missions, you'd be surprised at the comments that people make of, well, we've got missions work to do right here in Appleton County. We've got, lost people right here in Appleton County. Really, though, if you really analyze that statement, it's a really selfish statement to say that we've got missions right in Appleton County, because as Christians, that's a no-brainer, right? We all know that as believers trying to follow God, that we have mission needs in Appleton County. But you can't read Matthew 28 or Acts 1:8 and just stay in Appleton County. As a follower of Jesus, you can't read those two commissioning places in the Bible and stay in Baxley or Wayne County, because it calls us to go to the uttermost parts of the world. And yes, there are huge needs. We have people that participate in our food bank in Appleton County that have nutritional needs right here at home, and we need to be on mission for them. I'm not discounting that at all. We need to be on mission for people at home. But we need to be on mission for people in other parts of our state. And we need to be on mission for people in other states. And we need to be on mission for people in other countries, because all these places need Jesus, and Jesus has called us to go to all those places. In Acts 1:8 says, and you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses. He's talking to followers. He's not talking to people that just carry a name badge, just claim to be a Christian, but he's calling active followers. He's saying, you will have my power as you witness in Judea, Samaria, to the uttermost parts of the earth. And so let us here tonight resolve in our hearts that we won't make a statement like, well, we have missions right at home, because we all understand that. But let us resolve in our hearts just the mere fact that we'll be on mission wherever God calls. Wherever that is, whether that's home or abroad or wherever, because the bottom line is, like the choir sang about this morning, Jesus saves. And that's a message for white Caucasian Americans. That's a message for African Americans. That's a message for the natives in Kenya. And that's a message for the Haitians in Haiti, wherever. We need to be on mission to share the love of Christ. Love's the theme. A lot of people say, well, I can't speak the language. What good can I do? But love is a universal language. Just a hug and embrace. I mean, even at home, if you walk in a home, just a friend's home, and they hug you or smile at you when they hug or just say, I love you, goes a long, long way. And a lot of times we don't even think people don't get that in the United States. There are people in Appleton County that don't get those words, I love you, or an embrace. And that can not only portray the love of Christ, but it can communicate the love of Christ to people that need a Savior. And the bottom line is, why do we do what we do? Because we want to share the Savior. We want to see people come to faith in Jesus Christ. And so thank you for partnering with us in that. Thank you for all your donations, whether that was baby wipes or formula or vitamins. You know, I take vitamins for granted. Vitamins mean hardly anything to me. And they're readily accessible if I so choose to buy them. But one of the main questions we were asking customs in Haiti was, do you have any vitamins? Show us where the vitamins are, because I'm sure they were going to take them, because in their mind it's like a cure-all. If they can get some vitamins, you know, to help them physically. This was one of the first years in several that we've had to actually go through customs. Usually money goes a long way in the airport, and you give a little money and you can get to the places you need to get to without going through all these checks. But this year we had to go through these checks, and Philip he went through one line, and I took some containers through another line, and mine got scanned, and he sent me on with the rest of the group. And Philip, the man, wanted to look through Philip's 3 containers he had, and there was medicine in every container. There was medicine and medical supplies. Jimmy Twiggs had given me some things that he had come across, some surgical supplies, kits of things he had obtained, and different things. I mean, every container, we took in 31 containers, all of them, one was a cooler, it had food in it, but all the other 30 had medical supplies in them. But when that customs agent looked through Philip's 3 containers, he saw no medical supplies. Now, he didn't just open the lid and glance in. They turned over some things looking. He saw none. I think God still performs miracles, still can blind eyes when he needs to blind eyes. In other words, God can accomplish whatever he so desires because he's God. And for some reason, it still amazes common men like me and you. But I think that was a miracle in the airport, and Stacy spoke about that for a few minutes. But that was one miracle we saw. To raise $40,000+ was a miracle for the team to go and provide all the supplies we needed and different things. Some people look at that amount of money and they think, how? You know, I had a lot of questions about how's the money coming and do you have all your money? And listen, my 2 daughters and I went, and we didn't just have that money sitting aside somewhere. I was just, we felt led to go, and I was, just praying that it would be provided, and it was. But for everybody, it was. All those funds came together for this trip to take place. That was just a God thing. And so many other things. God did, like Gunner and some other one said, put the right team together. Everybody got along. Another miracle, everyone stayed healthy. I mean, you've experienced the 1 year, 2, 3 or 4 years ago when I went and got sick down there. Not from something down there, but the doctor said I had taken a bug in, but I was really bad sick. But not anybody on our whole team of 26, and that's a large team to take. No one got sick the whole time we were gone, not even anything really minor. And so that was just another miracle that God just provided for our team. And so nobody had to lay out of any work that was going on or anything, or much less feel bad while they're down there. It was just a miracle that everyone stayed healthy. And an answered prayer of mine, because I prayed many, many times for God to keep our team healthy. Let me walk through some of these slides, and Luke's going to close us in a song. But just a scene from Haiti. We hear about the poverty and different things, but Haiti is God's creation. I've said that before here, and this is just a scene of how beautiful some places are in Haiti. We can go to the next one. And you've heard us talk about tap-taps before, and tap-taps take on all shapes and sizes. It's the Haitian taxi system. But here you see how they're just hanging on the back, and they're probably 30-plus people in that vehicle, and they're not going just 2 blocks away. They'll be traveling long distances just like this. Next slide. And that was another, just God. A lot of times in Haiti, we'll say we're on Haiti time because everything seems to happen slower and not on the American timetable. But just plant the trees earlier in the week versus later was a good thing with the rain and all. And here's some of our team digging holes in this tough, rocky ground to plant 101 moringa trees, which will they'll let them get about 6 foot tall, and they'll strip off the growth and cook it like we eat mustard greens or something like that. And it's all kind of natural vitamins and minerals in that plant. And so to have 101 on the orphanage compound will be of great use and health benefit to them. Next slide. Here's Luke taking some temperature, and like he said, each medical clinic, we probably saw 2 or 250 people each time, and him and Gunnar worked well together, doing blood pressure and temperature screenings before they went to the next station. That was kind of their first stop. Once they registered, they went to Luke and Gunnar, and then to the they waited in line to get to their turn to the nurses, and then waited in line till their turn for the pharmacy. Next slide. This is the pharmacy. This is CVS, if you didn't recognize it. You probably didn't see the sign, so it's me and Susan Knox working in the pharmacy, getting some supplies together. Next slide. And here is, that's Janie Fralix, a nurse from Kentucky that worked with us. And there's Celeste and Bryn helping in the medical clinic. That's a nurse's station. So just very primitive and just meeting the needs the best we can. Next slide. There's Gunnar taking some blood pressure. Here's a little girl that Gunnar was talking about. She had had some kind of surgery or something, and was sutured up. Home caught on fire. Rushed to get out. Opened that wound back up. This is the result of going untreated after that open wound was there. And next slide, you can see how big her herniated place was. Next slide. I just wanted to show you that because that's some things we see. Not everybody has got that big of a problem, but there are all kinds of problems. And to me, that was one that made an impact on me. If you just touch one life with the love of Jesus. We say when we have big events, if one person got saved or one person got convicted of something in their life for Jesus, then that, whatever big event we had was worth it. And the same in another country. If one person come to know that Jesus loved them because we helped this little girl get to a medical doctor, then it was worth it. Amen. Luke helping to lead in worship in a Haitian church. And you see he's very intent, got his lips, he's really bearing down on that guitar. Luke did really good, and Gunnar and a lot of our team singing, but them two playing, and mine and Tammy's niece Sarah helped play, and here's some of our team singing in church. One night we got a chance to go to a revival service down the road, and they were able to play 2 or 3 songs and sing. Next slide. Gunnar playing dobro. Kind of like a little acoustic steel guitar. And there's a baby that's Haitian families adopted, and they were keeping at the orphanage till that adoption process goes through. So Summer and Sarah Harris loving on the newborn. Well, not newborn. That baby is about 2 months old, but looks like a newborn because its mother and father had died, and no telling when or what it had eaten in however long. Okay, next slide. Gunnar chilling out with the dog. Nothing spiritual to say about this picture. Gunnar probably needed a break. He's abiding in the Lord, I'll say that, with the dog by his side, man's best friend. Here's Celeste. This is one of the churches. This is City Blue Church that we built. We've showed some slides past years, but we gave out rice. The total amount of rice we gave out was about 800 bags of rice between 3 places, and this was one of the places we gave out probably about 250 bags of rice. Here's Celeste was just one of the local children that came to get rice that day. Next slide. Here's the orphanage. This is the building we painted, and it's kind of in an L shape, so we're only seeing one section, and I just wanted to show you. It was a big, big painting project where pastors come and sleep on the bottom level. they're trained and on the second level, and missionary groups like us stay on the third level. And just think of the impact you help provide to send a team to help paint this building, the impact of encouraging those pastors that will go out and share the gospel as they've had conferences and been inspired to go back home and share Jesus. So this is kind of before. Next slide. There's Heidi and some other ones, Morgan Wood and somebody else painting on the building. Next slide. I want some parents to see that these students do have skills. So you can't expect some of these things at home. But they're painting inside walkway there. Next slide. And that's the other angle of the building, the other L to that L-shaped building. Bottom level there is the kitchen, bathrooms, and this second floor here is missionary, where the missionary lives and keeps supplies and some different things. Next slide. That's kind of an after shot after it's been painted, so it looks a lot better, right? Thank you, Paula. It looks a ton better. Next slide. That's kind of an after shot. Next slide. And so this church, we're at revival. Just got a chance to speak. Philip actually preached the night of revival, and I preached Sunday morning at a different church at Guiton where we also gave out some rice. Next slide. This is a translator. I asked that you pray for him. His last name's Aladdin, like the Disney character Aladdin. He usually translates for us. We usually employ him every time we go in, and he is deathly ill. In fact, I was praying last night after getting a report on him and thinking we may not see Aladdin again. But we got a chance to go as a doctor was setting up an IV and pray with him. And he's a new father, just had a baby one of the days his wife had a child when we were there. So y'all pray for Aladdin. Next slide. This is their soccer field, and some of our students playing soccer with them. And a lot of them will play barefooted on this gravelly, hard ground. Next slide. This is the line that I think Gunnar was talking about, to wait for rice, the day we gave it out at the orphanage to the village people surrounding the orphanage. It just went on and on and on. Next slide. Bryn giving out some of that rice. Next slide. The City Blue Church and our team, as they're preparing to give out the rice, as they're waiting to receive it. Next slide. Another shot. And one last shot. Bonje Benyu. God bless you. L'Église, church. Merci, thank you for the work you helped God accomplish in Haiti. Because it's not about this team of 26 going or the 8 from our church going. It's just about God wanting to save souls in Haiti. Thank you for allowing us the privilege of being the hands and feet as you help prepare us to go. Keep praying for these people. Keep praying for us as, hopefully our team and the team God will prepare out here will go all kind of different places, whether it's Haiti or North Georgia or Appleton County or wherever, to share the love of Christ. Love is a universal theme that we need to be promoting. It's the theme that God will use to get hold of a person's life. It's the theme that makes the difference. It's the theme that took Jesus to the cross. And it's the theme he uses to save souls. In fact, John 3:17 says, "For God didn't send his son into the world to condemn the world, but that through him the world might be saved." And so that's our prayer, that Haiti and Georgia and Appleton Countyans will know Jesus loves them and wants to save them. Luke's going to close us in a song. Luke, if you'll come up and close us in that song, then we'll have an invitation time and close out the service. We do have business meeting or church conference tonight right after the service, so don't forget that in about 10 minutes after we close out. But Luke's going to share this song with you. You need this mic? Or
I wrote it's nothing really. Haiti, when I was in Haiti, I just had a feeling I've never had before. It's just like joy the whole time. And it's just something was on me. Me and Gunnar and a couple other guys, we just played guitar and stuff like all the time. Whenever we had free time, we just get on the guitar and start playing. We just do whatever. And one day I was just where our little top part is. I don't know if you saw some mountains behind our place, but I just had my chair. I had some mountains, clouds. It was just, I felt it. I felt something, and this is all God just gave it to me. It's called Your Grace, and everything. I was reading Psalms. It's in Psalms 86, 89. Basically, that's where I got the words, and they're not from me. It came to me, and I just want to sing it for you guys. I don't play stand up a whole lot. So. Your grace is like an ocean. It's never ending. It's never ending. Your love is like a storm. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. 'Cause I know a God who can save, even when I'm drowning. The only truth in the way His word surrounds me. And your grace, it moves the mountains, and it's always flowing. And it's always flowing. And your love, it shows us forgiveness. And it's everlasting. It's everlasting. 'Cause I know a God who can save, even when I'm dying. The only truth in the way His word surrounds me. And I know a God who can save, even when I'm crying. The one who gives me the faith, His word surrounds me. Now I lift my soul up to you, Lord. Give me a sign of your goodness. Now I lift my soul up to you, Lord. Give me a sign of your goodness. Cause I know a God who can save, even when I'm dying. The only truth in the way His word surrounds me. And I know a God who can save, even when I'm crying. The one who gives me the faith, His word surrounds me. Your grace, your grace.
Will you just play something like you've done at retreat or something while we do the invitation? Luke's just I'm putting him on the spot. He's going to play something like he's done on our retreats, just to have some invitational music. But I don't know what God's laid on your heart. I fully believe out of our congregation, God's going to call missionaries, full-time, volunteer. I fully believe God's going to call vocational ministers and lay ministers, and, preachers and bivocational ministers. I know that God is going to do that. The question really is, are we going to respond to it? or just respond to whatever message is given. I had a teenager come this week, and they're just convicted that they're not sharing Jesus like they think maybe he wants them to, as often as maybe he wants them to. I don't know what God's speaking to you about tonight, but just as Luke plays, I'm going to ask Brother Darrell to come and stand up front. I'll be down front if Brother Jonathan wants to come down front. And if you want to pray with somebody, fine. If you just want to do business with God at the altar, fine. And then towards the end, Brother Darrell closes out. We'll just ask Luke to quit playing. But if you just prayerfully kind of go into invitation mode to respond to God's call, I'll pray, and then Luke's going to lead, and Brother Darrell, and we'll be standing down front. Let's pray together. God, thank you for sending out these missionaries to share Christ in Haiti. Equally, we know you've called us to share at home and other places. We want to be faithful, obedient, never neglecting whatever call you place on our lives. So God, tonight I ask, Lord, that just people will respond to your voice as you speak to their hearts. Whether that's that they need to get saved tonight, whether that's they need to be on mission 24/7 for you, or whether it's a vocational call